Well, today turned out to be a much more exciting day than I had originally thought it was going to be. First off, I thought it was going to be pretty awesome because my mom has a day off. She happens to be an RN and she had to work over the weekend, so they gave her a day off in the middle of the week, which worked out great because we wanted to attack this shower situation. She got this little thing to cover my plaster so I could put it over and try to use a shower seat thing to take a shower, and that was the plan for this afternoon. And I'm getting ready for stuff for work tomorrow and just doing odds and ends and bits of things. And also, I contacted my doctor, my leg doctor, just to let her know about the numbness that I've been feeling in my leg. I had I hadn't really known that my foot was feeling numb until somebody touched my toes. I've been a little nervous that my toes were not actually there. I know that sounds really crazy, but I have a plaster cast thing, post-surgical cast wrapped around with ace bandages and things like that. And I can't actually see my toes, so it's wrapped up over my toes. So every single time somebody comes to check on me, depending on how close they are to me, I have them, touch my toe to confirm that it's there. And also, my feet get very, very cold, and we need to make sure that the circulation is going well. So touching the toes to make sure it's there. Well, the other day, somebody actually touched the top of my foot, and I realized that the top of my foot was numb. And that hadn't gone away over a couple of days, so I contacted my doctor today, and I left a message. And I immediately got a call back from the surgeon, and she scheduled an appointment with me later on today to check on it. She thought it was maybe one of a couple of things. One, maybe my dressing was too tight. Two, maybe there was some nerve interaction during the surgery. Three, maybe something was going on with my back, but she wanted to at least rule out the wrapping of my foot was too tight. So I went in this afternoon. She unwrapped everything. It looked pretty good, physically, and I have a couple of pictures, and I'll include those pictures at the end of this. A picture from my iPhone of my she took an X-ray, and also a picture of the side of my incision and the staples, and that one's a little bloody, for just to serve as a warning. She started touching my foot, and we realized that not only was the top of my foot numb, but also the sides. And the bottom of my foot, not numb, but there are various pockets of really, really intense numbness. And also she had me try to move my toes, and I could barely move them, like a couple of them barely at all. Now, when I had first broken my ankle, I had a really hard time. I could move my first three toes, the big one and the two next to it, and the last two were really not wanting to play along at all. And today, could barely move any of them at all. So it was almost like they were paralyzed, and I was trying really, really hard to move them. It didn't hurt, they just were not moving. And she expressed to me that that was a little unusual, to not be able to really move your toes at all. So she did not think it was the wrapping of the post-surgical stuff, but she based on where she did her surgery and her understanding of the nerves in that area, she doesn't think she interacted with any nerves. She thinks it's basically something is potentially going on with my back, either from when I fell or just all of the crap that goes along with walking on crutches and dealing with surgery. Everything is so much harder now on the crutches, first of all, and then also my back, because it's so sore. So she is going to follow up with my neurosurgeon, and I also was instructed to leave a message with my neurosurgeon. And next week I'll go back and have my staples removed, and there's a lot of metal in there. You'll see. I have 10 screws and a plate, and I have two big long screws that are at the bottom of my foot. And those big long screws are going to go away in 6 to 8 weeks, but the other 8 screws are going to be there for the rest of my life. So I'm going to have bionic leg for the rest of my life. So then my mom had the day off, so she drove me back, and getting back into the house is really challenging because there are a couple of steps, and I just couldn't for the life of me muster the strength to, like, on the crutches, jump up with my injured leg, because if you remember, my left leg was experiencing compression and stuff like that and was having issues with my back before I broke my leg. It, like, taking the crutches and jumping with that foot, with my hurting back and my broken foot, up to the first step and so on and so forth until I could get in. I just couldn't imagine doing that, so I decided to basically crawl up, which I'd done before when I first came home from the ER, and then when I also came home from surgery. But when I pushed my body up to get back into my wheelchair, when I first got into the kind of the foyer where they have a ramp that they had built for when they were moving my grandmother in and out, I totally, like, whapped my foot and put, like, some pressure on my right ankle, the ankle that's broken, and I swore like a banshee in front of my parents, and so I'm not very happy about that. We're icing it right now, we're icing my back, and just really seriously hoping and praying that there's no implication to that, and I'm not very happy right now. An update about work. My doctor agreed to write a note suggesting that I work half-time, because I am worried about eventually losing my job because of my lack of being able to do stuff related to my job. Like, my job description says extensive travel required, and then I need to be able to basically do 13 to 15 billable days a month, which means a lot of time. That's 13 to 15 billable days. You don't count travel days. That's at least that's almost traveling every single week, a couple of days every single week, and that's the ideal. And traveling or doing sessions, and I can't do that right now, and I wasn't able to do that for my back because I took time off for my back. So, I'm a little worried about losing my job, and that's one of the reasons that I'm kind of pushing to continue to have time working at the beginning of this. And also, I had already taken a chunk out of my FMLA, my Family Medical Leave Act, disability time for this year. I believe it goes it's not incident to incident, but it's from the first incident to the beginning of the year at 1 year after that incident. So I already used 6 weeks time there, and I had already gotten to the point where I would not get paid my full amount for my disability. I'd be at a shorter percentage, and so it makes more sense to work, because I am lucky enough to have a job where I can do some of it from home, but I don't take my pain meds when I work, and it hurts, and because when I take it I'm loopy, and I don't want to be that way when I work. So I'm a little frustrated right now. This is kind of a long a rant, but I wanted to update folks. I really didn't feel like typing it up, so here you go. Hope folks are having a good day.